Look at that. Just like that, you're on the internet and you're live. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 19th hole with the Duffers Review. As a awesome appearance today's episode, we have, I'm going to mess this up because I was overthinking it right now. It is Hack
Hack
Triplets.
dripless.
Hack Triplets. All right, Hack Triplets is the IG name. It is Tyler. You guys who've been watching this stuff before know Derek. Derek is from Pick'em Pros. So Pick'em Pros has joined us. But today we're bringing in Tyler because I love to do collabs and bring this out here as we're going live. I love to do collabs, and today's subject is going to be swag. We're going to be talking about apparel on tour, and we're going to be talking about the cultural influence that I think we're going to be seeing here on a few things. We're going to do that. But before I do that, Ty, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about your channel before we get in here and start bashing out some swag out there in the golf world today.
Absolutely, man. I started about 2.5 years ago. At first, it was just doing golf vlogs and really getting into the golf game. I've only been golfing for about 5 years. So uh, then I met Chris, Tee Up Tips with Chris, as some may know, on Instagram. Haven't even met him in person, but we just instantly clicked, and it was over that chemistry of the golf shoes and where the apparel is really going in the golf space. And then really over the past 2 years, it exploded, and I found my lane by being able to kind of bring something new to the culture of golf. Essentially, when it comes to the influencer space, there's not many people that review a lot of apparel or products that are out there like that. So I wanted to give my flavor on it and kind of put it out there. At first, I started as Hack Life Golf, and then some legal issues went in and around that name. It ended up getting trademarked, so I rebranded myself and came back as Hack Dripless, and it's just a play off of
Triplets, I
Jack
love it.
Nicklaus's name. Uh, I call myself Jack Nicklaus's drippy ass black grandson, so uh, can't play nothing like the man. As you see, the hack is in the name for a reason. But yeah, man, I just really want to grow the game and show the people in the community and surrounding areas that don't have the privilege, that there's other ways to get out of that and get out of those impoverished communities and explore different options and be able to meditate. Really, I mean, golf is to me a meditation. It helps with my mental health, so it's something I want to kind of preach to the younger generation. And what best to do that besides clothes and apparel in the game, and where it's going right now is big. It's exploding, so I'm excited for it.
This is awesome, which just brings us right up to kind of like what we're going to be talking about today. So we're going to be talking about apparel and golf. I happened to get a chance to see some stuff, and I always send links to Derek. We're big Jordan fans, so we're going to talk a little bit on Jordan Golf today, the Jordan Golf line. And does it have a place in golf? Does it have a place? I mean, he's everywhere, right? I mean, Jumpman is a world-renowned, symbol. But I feel like I might be on the opposing side of today's conversation when it comes to the Jordan line in golf. And the reason I say that is if everyone knows the Jordan story for Florida down in Jupiter, with this, he went to go play on a couple courses, right? Who doesn't want Michael Jordan on a course, right? Jordan, though, is everyone knows he's a big gambler, right? He's a baller, right? He's a basketballer. He always brings his basketball friends and everything out there, and he will go out and play 36, 70 holes in a day, any given weekend. And one of the particular courses, I'm not naming any names, I hear the bashing of the courses, was like, all right, we're done with it. They didn't want to accept his membership into the course. So in a true billionaire fashion, he decided to go open up the Grove, right? He went and opened up his own golf course across the street, and basically said, fine, you don't want to let me in, I'll open up my own. And it kind of launched, he's always had a love and an ability for golf. There's no secret to that. They talk about that in the last dance. You see it, and they talk around this. So Jordan has always kind of brought a flavor, but his biggest impact, I think, to outside of basketball has been Jumpman. It's been Jordan's. All right, it's a sneakerhead's go to. If you don't have, a rare set of Jordans in your collection, are you really a sneakerhead? Derek, what do you think? What do you think of that? 'Cause I know you, my friend here, is a big sneakerhead.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you have to have a rare pair to have a collection. If you don't have that, you don't have a collection. And I'm at the point now where I only golf in Jordans. Um, and my son only golfs in Jordans. But they have to have the spikes. So
Correct. So you're saying they have to be Jordans, but they have to be with a G, right? So in the Nike brand,
mhm,
any like the 270 Gs, I wear the 270 Nike golf shoes, and it's because it's slash the G is for golf. It is designed, the tread and everything is for golf.
yeah.
So it's the G line in the Jordan apparel.
Well, for me, not even the G line. They have to have the cleats. So because the others just look too. If they don't have the cleats, you look like you're just wearing some Jordans on the golf course. So for me personally, they have to have the cleats. So
I
that's just
feel
my
that.
thing.
I
So I
feel that.
basically rock the fours. Yeah, yeah.
So that brings up a very unique perspective. So let's get into this. Let's share some of these views as we bring them up on the screen here. So I'm going to let's see if I can do this right. We're going to bring it. This is how you do stuff live in the field. Um,
and,
two
and
views.
just I agree. The golf apparel industry is just taking off, and I love golf apparel, and I love how it's becoming more hip, more edgy, more modern. And I really like what you have, Tyler. So I'm excited to
I appreciate that.
definitely get some of what you have and start rocking that, because like to me the only golf apparel, if it's not Nike, I get Travis, because he has the kind of the coolest stuff out right now.
Right.
That can be taken to a whole nother level. So I really like what you have.
Exactly. And I feel like Nike has kind of fallen off when it comes to the apparel side of things.
Hmm. I agree.
They're not as strong within the industry, but I also feel like they know what their niche is, so they don't really
Mhm.
need it. And
True.
they're showing it right now. They're showing
Right.
it like we don't really care. It's here,
So
but our
so
shoes are better.
here so here's a question for you. When Nike decided to get out of the golf game, stop making clubs, stop making golf balls, only real golf apparel is Tiger Woods. And then because they sponsor a lot of golfers, Tony Finau, Rory McIlroy, Scotty Scheffler, they're all Nike sponsored, and ensure that I feel like it's a generic line for everybody else. What started this battle for me was Tony Finau. Greg, who we've seen us on with us from Pinehurst 6, he's a huge Tony Finau fan. This is where I bring up, as you can see here, we have up on the screen, these are the Air Jordan lows. They're the, what I consider, this is a skateboarder shoe. This is what everyone sees in my eyes as a skateboarding shoe. So for me, this is really, really tough because this is what Finau wears. Finau is out there wearing that, and I'm one of those people that look at Tony Finau. I love his story. We talked about it in Full Swing. However, I think one of the drawbacks to the Tony Finau piece for me is he looks like a skateboarder who doesn't pull up his pants. Is that golf? Is that a real golf apparel? You know what I mean? Like I don't know. What do you think?
I definitely get what you're saying when it comes to that. I feel like when I see the one, the Jordan 1, I feel like it's a resemblance of culture and hip hop essentially, because the Jordan 1 is obviously the staple in golf. If everybody's seen Air, we know how much history is
It,
behind the Jordan 1,
it's a
and
staple
I
in
feel like
basketball.
correct, and in the streets and the lifestyle wear and stuff like that. I feel like it's if you have a pair of ones and they're a specific, the Breads, the Chicago, stuff like that, and you you're showing you're really flossing and doing that. And I feel like Nike tried to do that with golf and put it in golf, Nike and Jordan, I should say, and it worked for a little bit. It got everybody hyped. It kind of shifted the culture of the apparel in golf and where everybody was kind of going. Now you see more brands getting a lot more hip with it. You see brands that are really tapping in with the culture when it comes to that and developing apparel around these ones and the colorways of the ones. Now, when it comes to the whole tradition of golf and it kind of I see where you're going with it. It looks like the skateboarder Lewis, he's just out there like sagging his pants on the course. I feel like that's just part of the culture and the way that golf is going. It's people are realizing now that we're not all pros and we're probably never going to be on that stage. And I feel like the pros are starting to realize that too. They're that hey, yeah, I have to dress up all the time, but it's really moving away from that elitist sport and that having to be in a suit and tie kind of fashion on the golf course to where now it's more acceptable. You see people in hoodies. You see Liv has shorts now. It's becoming more relatable to people, and I feel like that's kind of why golf is exploding, per se.
I couldn't agree more, but here's the ultimate question. Do you think the Jordan line is actual golf apparel?
No.
See, there's my man. Yeah, I love that you're bringing honesty to this. Derek, do you feel, and you kind of said it, you're wearing it, but I want to make sure that you kind of agree or disagree. Do you think the Jordan line is golf apparel?
The Jordan line, the clothes, no, because I can't really wear any of that to the golf course across the street that I'm a member of because of the rules that they have as far as gear. So for that reason, I say no. Now the shoes, yes, and that's again, like I said, that's all I wear. But
I agree with that.
Yeah, but the apparel, no.
All right, so this is a very unique perspective on that. I firmly believe that the Jordan line, there's only two shoes that I think that are worthy to be on the golf course from a golf perspective that plays in that, and those are the retro AG1s and AG2s, not the basketball lows, not the ones you've seen in the championship, not the retro sixes. I think you have there, Derek, that you were showing before. That looks too basketball. Right, it looks too basketball out on the course, and I see where they're going. All right, we got three, gentlemen of color on here, but I'll be the first to say and go for the image of golf. I think you're crossing a line. I think you're trying to push the Jordan image into a sport that's already got an image. It's already got a uniform, I guess you would say. I feel like this line is trying to change the uniform. Do you agree or disagree?
Well, let me say this. If you've ever golfed in a pair of Jordan 5s, you won't find a pair of shoes more comfortable than the Jordan 5s to golf in. And that actually, along with the style of it, the way they feel was truly one of the reasons why then I stuck with it. Because before that, I mean, I played for years and I've played in every golf shoe out there. But, man, the 5s are super comfortable. And then the 4s, I just love the way they look and they're comfortable. So now I wear more of the 4s. So those are my two go-to golf shoes, but they are very comfortable.
I like it.
I'll have to say the fives and the 12s are super, super comfortable. The 6s are. I haven't had a chance to golf in the 6s just yet, but I feel like they're a lot more comfortable and they're becoming more performance savvy, and they're really focusing on the performance and comfort of the shoes.
Yeah.
Since they started with the 5s, and that's where I fell in love with it. Was I had the Wolf Gray 5s, and it was over from there. That was my addiction. So I feel like they're becoming more. I feel like they're becoming more acceptable with the looks on the course. Now there is some crazy colorways, of course, but there is also those subtle colorways that look real good with certain outfits that you can pull off with a polo or a vest even. So
So that gives a great segue to, okay, if you want to get a little crazy with it, you have people like Ian Poulter, right, that are wearing some of the craziest of golf, apparel and stuff out there. So is that giving you, you're like, hey, well, if Ian can walk out here looking like a rainbow explosion of, anything, Jordan's got his face in the professional PGA Tour level? Both nod your head, so I feel like you both have it's got a space.
Absolutely.
It does. It definitely does. I mean, it's like Ian Poulter. I feel like he's kind of like a tattoo golf type of guy, if you know that brand. It's that super loud.
100%.
Yeah. So I feel
Skulls, bones, love it.
I feel like it can kind of not necessarily take over the craziness, but it can add a new lane if they do it right. They can't play it off of how Nike is doing it because they're just falling short. They have to do it right, and they have to really tap in with where the game of fashion is right now and how that is right now. So I feel like it definitely has it can have a spot in the game. They just need to execute it right. But now you have Tiger Woods, who is a lifetime signee of Nike. Is he letting that slide?
Well, that's where I kind of feel like, and I saw some, I don't know if it's fake news yet, but I literally saw some news as we were driving over here to the resort. It was a flash or something that said that Jordan just separated from Nike. I don't and I'm telling you, this is like hot off the press. I saw it. I'm not claiming this as real. As soon as I saw it, I was like, that's got to be fake news. There's no way they're letting Jordan go, whatever the cost.
Yeah.
So I haven't dug into it, but it drives to that very point. What you're saying is, hey, with Tiger not playing in those fashions, where is Nike's footprint in golf really going to rely on? Because I unfortunately think Nike has put a kind of a very strict role on their players that they're backing. Fleetwood, Rory, Scheffler, and I feel like they let it a little lax with Finau. Tiger has his own brand, but Tiger is an ambassador. Like, I don't think you can ever see him out on a golf course that doesn't look absolutely pinstripe sharp, right? He's never out of place. He's not back in the 90s wearing the shirt 3 sizes too big anymore. Like, he is very tailored to his look and what he's presenting himself in. So I think Nike sets kind of a rule. I feel like right now, this conversation and stuff we're having is Tony Finau's the outlier. Do you agree?
I disagree because they're on the PGA Championship. I saw yesterday there was another golfer that had a hoodie on, and I was
it Nike?
I'm not sure. It was a gold hoodie. I assumed it was Nike, but I don't know for sure. I have to look at that.
Who was the golfer?
I don't know the golfer. I have to.
Yeah, do some fast research. I know you're in front of that screen because I'd be curious because you're right. Absolutely, the hoodie has made its way to the scene. Even with PGA laxing off during practice rounds, allowing golf shorts, right? Which I gotta think that was well overdue. There were practice rounds. Why not? Especially, it's really never that seen unless you're there, as an early patron or something and you get some shots. But I thought it was a shakeup that was needed. It was kind of like, I think the players even felt a little bit more like, hey, I'm here, I'm practicing, I'm be comfortable in practice. It's not a fashion show. But if you look at the sponsors and stuff that are out there and who are putting it on, it's very unique to see who is representing what brand. Who's representing it well, and clean. So this is where I look at your channel, Ty, and it was like, man, he's bringing a very, very good twist, and he's bringing a new, I'm just going to say, we're bringing a new color perspective to the game, right? We're bringing a style to the game that, to be honest, Tiger's Tiger. He had his own battle fighting into the PGA Tour. trying to twist it and make it the Jordan fashion when Jordan was going to wear longer shorts than everybody else in the NBA. You know, when the whole, you all saw Air, when they said, screw it, we're going to pay the fines for him changing the colors. He was a trendsetter, but Tiger was a trendsetter just for his color at his time breaking into it. It wasn't an apparel battle. It was, I need to be allowed to play. So now we look at it and you look at the path that has been, you know, cut for him. Do you see the Finau's and everybody else like this now being able to cut a new path? Because there's been a barrier broken down.
I believe so, but they, as far
Come
as
on,
Finau,
buddy,
I
it's
feel
the
like
19th hole. Don't get shy on me now. Tell me for real.
as far as Finau, I feel like he takes a different approach to it, where he's more of the family man. He's not
Yeah.
outspoken. He's more laid back, and I'm playing this game because I love it type of vibe. Where not that he isn't on the outside, but from what I see, I don't see him trying to break more barriers down and still trying to grow the game for our people.
Got it?
I feel like Harold Varner is the same kind of way, and I feel like Tiger is the same kind of way. It's very quiet when it comes to breaking barriers down. Now they did it, and they are on the tour, and they are are people of color that we have to support and get behind. But I feel like there's going to be a new wave coming soon that is going to bring a whole new perspective. That is going to be there's going to be somebody like a Willie Mack or somebody out of the APGA that is going to really make noise and break and be the one to break barriers and be our voice that we need in the league or in on the tour. So I feel like who we have right now on tour, they're not necessarily the ones that we're gonna rely on to do that for us. I feel like it's the ones that are up and coming that are going to be that way, and even the influencers that are getting in on it and things of that sort. But as far as players, no one's there just yet. I feel like we have some work to do, and we need to really speak louder if we're going to. And that goes for Tony and Harold Varner. Even though he's on live now, they need to speak louder and show them that we're here and we're here to stay. And this is why the culture of golf is changing.
So let me state the obvious then. If they're not winning, right, they're not at the top of the leaderboard, they're not going to make a difference. Right?
Exactly.
It's as much as we want to, as much as they're bringing it out, and I think the Jordan line has its spot, in certain areas. I think there's certain stuff they need to take the golf thing off of it and just call it what it is. It's just a Jordan line. I don't think it will be accepted. I don't think it will be allowed in certain golf clubs and or resorts. But I think with Bubba Watson, right, making the big Masters debut on the Jordans that got sent to him, I think he's sneaking in, and I think everyone's trying to follow the love that Jordan has for golf. I just don't. I think we're a little too soon on the Jordan line itself. So let's switch this to another question here as we do that. Who do you think then has the best drip game on tour?
Well, I was big on Tony Finau being the drippiest tour player, but after yesterday, if everyone has seen my video, he got that drippiest player card revoked.
Nice.
Right now, I mean, on the PGA Tour, I still have to give it to my man Tony Finau. Finau fresh. He does put it together at times. Yesterday was a complete miss. This whole yellow situation is a complete miss with Nike. But Finau for sure. I mean, Bubba's up there. There's a lot of subtle that are just low key, but still keep it fresh.
All right.
Yeah, Finau is definitely the top guy.
All right, so Tyler's coming in with Finau. Derek, who's your? This is the pick and pro moment. What pro are you picking as the freshest drip in the game right now?
Freshest drip in the game, and man, if he wore the Jordan apparel, it would just be over. And if he won, obviously, but Ricky Fowler still has the most trip, most swag.
Tricky Ricky, you just literally like, so it's a double vote because that's exactly where I was going to go with it. Even with him making his way back into the top 50, which again, he's matured a little bit. He's got the wife, but he still shows up. And believe it or not, despite the fact that he's on Live, I still think Ian Poulter is a guy that no matter what, when he shows up, even when he's playing bad, the cameras are putting him on him at some point in time because of the way he's looking out there on the tour. So I think that is utmost. You're right there, but I think ultimately it does come down to one of two things here, right? If they're not winning, they're not going to make a major move in it, right? Because everyone loved Ricky when he was winning. He won the championship. All of a sudden, everyone was out on the course in orange, right? Any Sunday that Tiger's playing, half of the stands are in red, right? So when you're winning, I think it makes a difference. I think they say the same thing in sales, right? You can only demand for something when you're hot. When your numbers are in, that's what it is. When your numbers are in on tour, it's what makes a difference. All right, guys, we're coming up to 4 minutes left almost here on what we're going to do in our live, what we normally do. I'm going to shift it real quick for you guys real fast. PGA Championship, right? It was the kickoff. We're in day 2. Who's your calling? I want to go right to Derek. You're the PGA Pick'em Pros. Let's go. What is the Pick'em Pros choice for winning the PGA Championship?
Man, I guess I'm
You're going to cheat because you've been watching too much basketball. I know talking last night, you were too much into the finals in the game. This is a major, man. This is a major.
I'm a cheat and go with Bryson. As he was already.
Come on, he's out there hitting other players. Stop it.
But what I like though, his putter seems to be hot, and when his putter's on, he's one of the best in the game, and he seems to be focused. He seems to be off the roids now, and I think he wants to make a statement. So I'm gonna go with him.
It's actually a very unique article out on that, and he talked about it in one of his interviews on how he bulked for everything, wanted to hit the long ball and everything, and just like everyone else, you drive for show, right? You putt for dough. And he came out and even stated that. He goes, hitting 400-yard drives into the woods doesn't make you win majors, right? It may get you in there. He goes, until you can learn how to do that consistently, he goes, it's just like, your boy Steph Curry, He's absolutely on fire from the 3-point line because that's a shot he practices the most. Unfortunately, there's at least 10 other shots in the game of golf, right? So it all comes down to what you're doing on the green. All right, Ty, who's your pick? PGA Championship.
Man, I'm gonna go with Block. My guy Blocky. He's
really.
The story really got me, and I'm switching my pick from what I had posted earlier on Instagram. It was Brooks, but I mean he's not playing too hot. But I saw the story of Blackie, and I really like it, and I think that he has it in him to take it and kind of shock the people and take it home for all his people back at the home course.
And he's also the one that had the gold hoodie. He was the one.
Yeah, he was the one. Was it Nike?
Yes,
I can't tell.
It is Nike.
It is Nike. He is a Nike. All right, look out. The hoodie is making it seem. All right, here's the Duffers review. All right, I am going to come down, and I wanted to go with JT. I don't know what's going on in his world right now, but I think the sleeper pick right here is Jason Day. I think he's going to do a double. I think he's going to take off the streak from last week. He's gone into this week absolutely under the radar from interviews. He's addressed to win. He's laser focused. He's been out there just to make sure his team stayed just as tight from last week. I think Jason Day does exactly what he did last week on Sunday. He's going to play just 4 positions out, and he's going to make a solid move to in the stretch here to win it. I think on moving day, I think tomorrow you're going to see him in the top 4 going into Sunday.
I like it.
That's right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have to, before we wrap up this 30 minutes in the 19th hole, I first want to give a mad shout out to Talia for coming on and giving us the insight on, today's, golf apparel and stuff like this. But before we finish, Derek, we put out. Everyone knows there's a battle going on with Pick'em Pros and Duffers. So I sent over to Pick'em Pros camp the formats to be judged and reviewed. And Derek, I think you guys have picked your format. I'll turn it over to you. What format did you? It's definitely it's a Burger King format is what he's going with. What format did you choose for the battle of Duffers Review versus Pick'em Pro?
Man, well, we all know it doesn't matter, right? I mean, any format doesn't matter, you know. But we have to pick a format. You know, Scramble. We're very familiar with that. Playing a lot of fundraising golf tournaments. So Scramble is one of the formats that we'd like to go with.
And then the other one was.
It was one I've never heard of. You kind of schooled me, but I believe it's Chapman. So here's what we're going to do: as the Duffers accept your formats, the tournament is going to go down on a 2-day tournament. But here's the stipulation from our side. So in order to accept your format, Scramble and Chapman, we're going to do 2 rounds. One round will be a full Scramble round. The second round will be Chapman. However, since I'm flying out again to come play in North Carolina, we need to do this Duffers Review style. It cannot be at your home course, the Noose. This needs to be Duffers style, 2 brand new courses, never played. So one, we get the review in, and the championship is on fair ground. Even though we're going to be playing in at least this year, it'll actually be warm enough. You won't be putting me out in the cold in North Carolina. So if you agree to 2 new courses, the Duffers will agree to your formats. Done deal.
Done? Tyler, you're a witness. There it is. So next week, we're going to do some research here. We're going to start looking up some courses. Me and Derek and Diego are going to work out what courses they haven't so-called played already. But it's definitely the courses that the Duffers haven't played, so we can do a full review, add 2 more courses to the North Carolina chapter of Duffers Review, getting out there live and doing this format going live. Now, we're still going to have an episode, and you're going to have to tune in, like, subscribe to find out what we're going to be playing for, and get the debut of the trophy. And I think I'm going to bring Tyler in on this one, since he's the king of drip here in the golf, scenario, to help decide. We may even have to put some uniforms on here. I think we might have to go, Jordan kicks versus, something else over here on my side of the house. So we're really going to turn this up and bring everything out to this. And if Tyler's got time, we may bring him out here just to be the commentator for the tournament. So it'll be worthwhile.
Yeah.
So, guys, it's been 30 minutes. I appreciate everyone who's logged in, logged out, left comments. We saw that in the chat here. Bobby Hooks throwing some hack speaking truths out here in the comment board here. I love it. So we'll make sure the shout outs. So again, I appreciate you doing this. We're doing this every week. 30 minutes, 19th hole. What's the review this week in golf? We touched today in swag. Who's got the best drip? The drip master over here himself coming in and giving his 2 cents. We did Pick'em Pros, dropping his picks for this week in the PGA Championship. I am David Duffer1 here from Duffers Review. Ladies and gentlemen, like, subscribe to all of us. Make sure you leave where you want us to come play and where you want us to chat at, and stay tuned for the Ultimate Tournament. Tournament's coming up here in July. You guys, peace. I love you guys for coming on. Like, subscribe. We're out.
Thanks for having me.
Bro.